Today we're going to talk about Ninja Scroll. It is an animated feature from Japan, Japanese animated feature that came out in 1993 in Japan. It's also known as Jubei the Wind Ninja. It was produced in America, released in America by Manga Entertainment. It was done in Japan, but was doing with a co-production with JVC, Toho, Movic, Animate, and Madhouse, which Madhouse was the main animation studio. The story is about a ninja named Jubei. He's a mercenary hired by the warlords to, just I guess they had jobs for them. So he had to battle he was made to battle these 8 devils of Kimon, which are ninjas that are they're coming to take over the warlords. Basically, it's a really good story. When it was released, it was kind of a breath of fresh air because nobody had seen anything like that before. It was one of those movies that it's a classic right now. Like, it's a classic. If a lot of people have seen it, a lot of people haven't seen it. I think there's a series afterwards with about Jubei. It's actually based on loosely based on a historical figure. Actually, his name was Jubei. The story was really good. I mean, the animation was great. The action was good. The pacing of the movie was really good. It's one of those movies that you just watch and you enjoy, and it was just great. It was also very unique, which there was nothing on it. There was nothing out there at the time like this, which reminds me of our special guest today, Andrew Alliance from the show Radio. I've known him for a number of years. Great dude, great God-fearing man, just a great guy, great gamer, good guy to talk to. There's nobody I know that doesn't like this dude. He's just one of those guys. This is really good. Him and Miss DJ M, they host the show Radio Now. She's new to the show. She's awesome. She's great. They're both just wonderful people. I'm glad they actually teamed up to host the show because the show was just gelled perfectly, and it's just wonderful. So just like Andrew's a guy. He just, I didn't know him when I first met him. When I met him, I heard the show once or twice, got to meet him. Great guy. But anyway, we're gonna get into the show. That's why I picked Ninja Scroll, because my special guest he's a very good guy, very classy guy, very nice guy. His show is phenomenal. If you haven't checked it out, it's the showradio.info. Check it out. It's a really good show. And today, that's all for me today. Right now, we're gonna get into the show. Geeks on the Internet having a beverage. Let's start the show. All right. Hey guys, this is Andre Otaku Man 5000. This is Geeks on the Internet having a beverage. We have a special guest. This dude is one of the best dudes you'll ever meet in this business. He's a God-fearing man, just straight up, just a really, really just awesome dude. Loves people, loves the industry. My man Andrew Alliance, aka Uriah. What's going on?
What's up, man? Thanks for the invitation, man. I really appreciate you allowing me to come on your platform and say a couple of words, man, and then I guess we can go from there.
Yeah, man, it's cool. We're just this is just a hangout show. We talk about anything you want to talk about. We talk about your history first. We'll introduce you to everybody first. For those who don't know, you can tell us about the show and what you do and when you started playing games or got into geek culture, all that stuff. Just give people your history in a brief, however long you need. It's fine. So we'll go for it. Go ahead, man.
All right. So 1987 is when I started playing games. I always had a passion for that, just watching the industry, even back then. Then my mom got me a Nintendo around that time, and I mean that's history from there. So from there, Sega Dreamcast made an appearance. Sega Genesis had that. Definitely, the arcades in the 90s was big for me. Street Fighter, Fatal Furies, and those guys back in the day. And then I kind of left PlayStation for a while, and then came back into it. PlayStation 3, somewhere between there. Xbox happened also, Xbox 360. So pretty much just a progression of most of the consoles. Maybe for handheld, for me, one Game Boy and my history. Nothing from there, ever since. My daughter, she had the the latest Nintendo handheld, the 3DS. But outside of that, I haven't really done any handheld. But I still want a Vita, even today. I still want to have that as a handheld. But aside from that, man, just as far as the show is concerned, the showradio.info, that's been since 2009. I've been podcasting for almost 8 years. 8 years will be August, this August, obviously. And 355 shows, dropped 355 today. And just been doing some video stuff. The power of video, it's something that it's been striking our chords for most of our colleagues, focusing on video stuff. So and trying to be more comfortable doing that, not too nervous at doing that, and doing what we love.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, we've known each other for a while. Oh man, I don't even remember. I don't remember. It's been so long. But we got the extra chance to hang out at PAX East like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that.
For sure, man.
Man, it was so much fun. So I mean, so you started out with games. So are you into like anime, comic books? You into any of that stuff? Did you get any of that stuff as a kid?
Yeah, I did a little comic
Did you pick that up later, or how'd that happen?
Yeah, I did a little comic books, and I think that's where I started falling in love with the characters, like Iron Man and the superheroes who are not necessarily superheroes until something happened to them, right? Gotcha. So Iron Man and Spider-Man and those guys, and even Batman as an intellectual as he is, all that money, at the same time a tragedy happened in his life, right? As we know, the story, and he still carries that chip on his shoulder wherever he goes and whatever interaction he does, even with the enemies that he faces, to date, right? That's the whole Batman story. So fell in love with that. So I don't read comic books now as much as I used to. I just like the DC shows, the anime shows that they have, and also, of course, we have the movies coming out, all the DC stuff. Wonder Woman just came out recently, and then you have stuff like Batman and Superman. If some people enjoy that, some people really didn't enjoy that. So I'm not necessarily going to get into that. But I enjoy the universe, both universes, right? And still paying attention to what's happening, on that scene for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's comic books was a big deal for me because I was a kid. I didn't really have a whole lot of that stuff, but yeah, a lot of people know my history I had comic books when I was like 7 years old, and I was reading them all the way up till now. So I still collect comic books to this day. But yeah, so now the show radio, what was the deal? What got you? Man. Yeah, I know what got you there, man. I love your show, dude. I'm telling you.
No, I appreciate it, man.
For those of you who have not seen, have not watched this, have not seen the show or heard the show, it is a very, very stripped down show. There's no flashiness. It's just straight up people. Great content. It's just real. It is just it's honest, and it's really a mellow vibe. You bring such a mellow vibe to it, man. It's just like you get in there and you relax, you chill, and you just go. And it's just a great show.
I appreciate it, man. It's definitely been, it has evolved ever since 2009. I'll definitely tell you that. And of course, being a listener and a friend, let's be very, very, specific with our relationship. You've seen my struggles from back then to even now, right?
Yeah.
You've seen the pitfalls. You've seen, me change, courses and trajectory for the show and all that stuff. So, I mean, even now, I mean, in terms of, the changes that the show has taken ever since 2009, at first it was, I wanted to talk about games because I wanted to meet the people that were podcasters, and there was no way for me to meet them unless I did a show, right?
Right.
So I desired, and it goes back to even relationships, which is the thing in the forefront of my mind even today, right? Whoever I'm talking to, Twitter, social, whatever. So 2009, the first maybe 15, 20 episodes was, okay, I want to talk about games. I want to talk about stuff that I love. But at the same time, I maybe one day I'm going to meet, the Parises and the GVBs and the Godfreys and those guys, right? One day, one day it's going to happen. I don't know how, but it's going to happen. So those things ended up happening for me, to meet those guys and consider them friends and even brothers at this point. And then it went from, okay, so now we have that down. So we can check that box. Now let's try to invite some guests onto the show. So that was phase 2, right? So now we're at phase 2. We're inviting guests onto the show, and then from the guests, it went to the co-host. From the co-host, it went to okay. So now let's see if we can try having a co-host that's permanent. Okay, let's see if we can add a team member, right? So I tried adding a team member somewhere between 50 and 77, give or take, so 50 between 50 and 100 to be safe, and I didn't feel like it was going to work out, right? So then I said, okay, forget everybody. Let's go back to how we started. Let's go back to being solo, right? Because if I wanted to go quickly somewhere, I can do it solo. But if I wanted to go far, I needed to bring somebody. So I was stubborn for 200 episodes.
Yeah.
Very stubborn, right? I was doing it. You know, we were recording shows, you know, bringing guests on, doing that stuff. But it still didn't feel like, you know, coming back from an event or something like that, it was like, wow, that was great. That was amazing. Yeah, I could talk to my colleagues, but they have their own people, right? They have their own team members. It's not the same. So I never really had somebody to share that experience with, or even share, you know, how to navigate this thing without falling into, like, you know, the pit, right?
Yeah.
Until recently. You know, until recently, I don't know if you've been following that journey, and I'm really crafting a narrative for it, because for all the different things that happened in the show's history, now I'm at a place where I can share that with someone else, right? So I guess the quick story for that is 5 years ago, I started talking to this young lady online, a streamer. Her name is Daniela, and she goes by Miss DJM on Twitter. And we've been on and off supporting each other's brands and stuff for the last 5 years, but it's always been great, right?
Right.
And I think that's something that everyone, whether you're just starting out, you should pay attention to the people who are supporting you just because they want to support you. No hidden agendas, nothing, right? So you should really pay attention to those individuals. If you need to take a pen and paper and write those down, you should definitely consider that. So 5 years ago, or even 2-3 years ago, I never would have thought that Daniela would be part of the show Radio Today, right?
Right.
So now it's a different thing, because I feel like I'm starting over, because I once said I would never go again to do the co-hosting thing. You know, I never wanted to consider a team member or anything like that. But now I feel like, you know, she's allowing me to do something that I did not want to do. Right.
Right.
But at the same time, it was like, yo, it's is this too good to be true? Right. Right. No, seriously, man. I mean, I'm asking those questions. I'm asking those questions even now.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. It's a constantly evolving medium. It's every time you think you've got it down,
right,
something comes along, you're like, well, maybe I should try that, because that seems like it's working. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, is this too good to be true? Is this really real? Like, are we really flowing like we're flowing? You know, is everyone saying that the chemistry is good? Is it really that good? Is it, you know, so I'm like, you know, so I was like, you know what, prior to me even asking her, because it's like, I wouldn't call it a marriage, but I might as well just use that particular example. So prior to me even asking her to be on the show, because she came on to as a official co-host at 340, right? So from 340 to now, you know, she's, you know, doing her thing. Amazing job. I mean, I couldn't even ask for it. I'm spoiled right now. I don't even know what to do with myself, to be honest with you.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. I've been listening, man. I've been listening. Shouts out to Danielle, man. Miss DJM on Twitter. Yeah. We have been friends on Twitter for forever. I mean, I don't even remember. I don't remember a time when I didn't know her. that's how, I don't remember. I don't remember the day we met, but I remember that we got to talking on Twitter a few times, and we talk every now and then. And yeah, man, she's amazing.
Right. So now here's the thing with that, right? So now I'm like, okay, prior to me, you know, asking her, hey, do you want to come on? I kind of, you know, was like, okay, so I'm looking for somebody to be a team member, and this is how I proposed it, right? So she has no idea I was getting ready to ask her to be, you know, part of the team. So I said, I'm looking for somebody who, you know, I could flow with, who's been on the show, who understands to some degree the ins and out, you know, my personality, what I'm looking for, honesty, integrity, loyalty. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for real conversations. I don't want that fake stuff. Like keep that. I don't want it. Right. So I'm creating. So I'm setting that up. I'm setting that up before I asked her. I was like, so yeah, I'm looking for this in particular individual. And she was like, yeah, that's great. That's amazing. You know, I hope you find somebody like that. I said, well, that person is you. And she was like, oh, right. Totally threw her off and stuff like that. So, and that's pretty much how that conversation started. And I was like, yeah, you know, I said for the last 5+ years, I mean, whether I was up or down, yeah, we're far away because she's in Hawaii, right? And I'm in New York. But, there's just certain things that, some individuals, okay, so I'll just go change the direction real quick. Some individuals feel like there's no way for someone to craft or build a rapport with somebody online and come offline and still be great, right? Right. So I know it's happened before. I'm not the exception to the rule, but this is pretty much what's happening right now, right? So 5+ years, we're talking on and off. I asked her to come on the joint, right? So now she's on, and it's like the best experience. It's what I've always wanted, but we're still trying to be, because we have a lot of growth to do as a team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But here's the other side about it too. She's not new to the scene, and I like to be clear. She's not new to the scene. She's been on stream on Twitch for 5+ years. Okay, she manages her own Amazon Studios team for the game Breakaway, right? So she's doing stuff, and she's doing stuff with girl streamers and all that stuff. She's not new. Okay,
no,
she's not new. My issue and my challenge was trying to figure out if what she was doing was going to be the reason why she said no, right? So you don't know until you ask. So what's my point? My whole point in sharing that is you don't know what people are getting ready to, what the crossroad is for somebody, right? So I could have said, well, because she's doing girlstreamers.com stuff, because she's doing her own Twitch stream stuff, maybe she doesn't have time, right?
Right. Exactly.
But it's the exact opposite. She was actually looking for another way to express herself in terms of her voice.
Oh, that's great.
Nobody asked.
Wow, really? That's wow.
Not that I'm aware of. No, so
I didn't. I mean, I follow her a lot, and I was like, I thought about asking her like right before I asked you. I was like, man, I need to get some more people on, and I'm actually getting ready to put a schedule together for like I'm reaching out to everybody that I've ever known in the industry. This 30+ years I've been in it. I mean, I'm going way back, and I was looking through my Twitter feed, and I was like, man, I got some great. I do have some great friends on it. I cannot front these people. My Twitter followers are like the absolute best people on the planet. Period. And I'm going through that. I say her, and I said, I might have to hit her up. So man, there's some great people.
Definitely have her on, man. Definitely have her on, and
she's awesome.
And the thing with that is, I promised her one thing, right? That's all I promised her. One thing. I didn't promise any game codes, any event stuff, or like all this contracts and all. I didn't promise anything. All I promised her was this is probably going to be the worst experience of your life. That's what I said to her. Right? I'm gonna try to make it as good as possible, but this may not be as good as it is. Now, I'm gonna let her. I guess whenever you decide to have her on, she can share her own experiences with me as a partner. I don't think that I'm like a mentor or any czar guru person or anything like that. But I definitely want her to have her voice, her own voice, right?
Right.
And she already does with her 5-year plus streaming stuff, obviously. But as a podcaster, as a newly found podcaster and content creation person on that side of things. I'm not going to cut her off. I'm not going to speak over her. I'm not going to do anything that would prevent her from expressing herself as a human being who happens to be female, right? Right. That was strategic also, because I didn't want the same outlook or the same ego and certain clashes to happen on the show. I definitely wanted someone who had a different voice, a different culture, because she's from Hawaii, right? So definitely all those things that are different, between me being from Brooklyn originally, right? Completely opposite of who she is and culture and things like that. So managing those two almost polar opposite of things and bringing that together, it seems like, like a Voltron, Transformers, Power Rangers kind of thing right now.
Man, you guys, it's the way you guys mesh. It's almost like this was meant to happen.
I'm trying not to speak like it was, bro.
No, because it's real. I mean, it's real because I've listened to the last, I think, like 4 or 5 shows, and I'm just like, I mean, I knew she was cool because I've seen her before. I know how she's awesome. She's awesome. She's really down to earth, really cool, really eager. She loves the industry. Like she really loves the industry. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And but you guys meshed so well. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even remember any kind of bumpiness, like nervousness. I mean, I know she was nervous the first couple of times, but you guys just gelled and it just
Yeah, I
came out. I
think
was like, man, it's refreshing. It really is.
it's it's refreshing to hear that,
Yeah.
especially coming from you, and you're listening, and you're watching how we interact on social media and stuff like that. I want that. I want what's happening right now to be the norm, right?
Right.
But there has to be a level of humility. There has to be a level of meekness. I
Mhm.
don't have all the information, so there has to be a level of that kind of person. Not, I wouldn't say person. I'm really trying to frame this in my mind. You have to have those qualities to make
Right.
this thing work, right?
Yeah.
Because if I felt like I knew everything, right, then who would want
Right.
to be part of that, team? Who would want,
Exactly.
right? Nobody, right? And I'm still learning who she is as a human being, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the culture and different things like that. So there's certain ways that I make sure that I approach her and not diminish any information that she's already learned, right?
Yeah.
So on the other side of it, we're both relearning things, as you mentioned, together, to make things happen. So yeah, so we're working it out, man. We're definitely working it out.
It's all I gotta say is, man, you've always, because you've helped me out, because I'm always trying to improve. I'm always trying to change up stuff and make things fresh and stuff like that. I'm always looking for new stuff to do. And I remember I reached out to you about equipment and stuff and software and stuff like that. And man, you gave me some of the best advice. I mean, I've reached out to a lot of people, but everybody's giving me great advice. But man, you gave me a whole slew of stuff. I was like, okay, I got a checklist right here. Okay, I got this. There's a
Right.
microphone.
Of
There's
course,
a
man.
soundboard. There's this. I was like, okay, that's cool. Okay, and it's been. I mean, you've like I said, I was talking to some friends of mine. I'm like, I've been around for a minute. Um, I look at you. I look at you, and I look at Malik from Malik Forte and Tony from this the coalition, and a lot of you guys, a lot of my young brothers is out there doing it, man. Every time I go to a con, you guys always show me love, and I'm like, man, I can really step away and let you guys take this and run with it, because you guys have your own unique voice. Your audiences are pretty much similar, and you all bring a different perspective to the table.
Yeah,
Everybody,
I noticed that too. Like, the audience.
Andrew, Renee.
Yeah.
I mean, all you get, I can go down the list and name 1,000 people, but you guys have all come up with, and it's not any, it's all real. It's all, you guys all have a passion, and it's one of those things. It's refreshing to me because it keeps me going, because I'm looking at you guys. I'm like, and the ideas, these guys are doing it. You guys are doing it. I mean, I had it way harder. I mean, it was way different for me back in the day. It was, when I started, it was only a hand. It was like me and three or four other brothers out there doing game journalism, and we knew each other. So that was a crazy thing.
All right, so let's talk about that right there. As far as like,
Yeah.
I don't really consider myself like a game journalist or analyst or anything like that. I mean, and I think those labels and respectfully are respected in the industry that they're with, right? They're associated with.
Right.
I just like to create content for content's sake, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe somewhere in between an episode, maybe there's a tech article that helped you be better at productivity or something like that. Or because we're not sharing information that's relatively new. It could be new depending on where we got it from and how exclusive it was. But outside of that, most of the information we just share from the standpoint of, our personalities and who we are, right?
Right.
So you're not getting, as you said, I'm pretty sure most of the audiences, they cross over to some degree.
Yeah.
Some people listen to 3, 4, 5 shows, and we're all could be friends. All the hosts could possibly be friends, and you're listening to all the shows and stuff like that, which is great, man. Which is great. But my thing has always been, I'm eager to learn, right?
Yeah.
If you're my elder, I'm going to sit down and listen. That's always been my thing. So whether that's from, Paris or Godfrey or JVB or whoever it is, it
Yeah.
could be somebody even younger. It doesn't have to be somebody, that's my elder, but I'm always willing to sit down and learn. Definitely it could be you. I don't have all the answers. I think that's really what has allowed me to navigate this far, if you consider this far, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Because
you've done a lot.
I don't think I don't have all the answers, and I think that's one of the things that's allowed me to keep learning from the individuals that I'm either meeting for the first time or have known for a while.
Right. I mean, like I tell people, I'm still a new, but half of this stuff, I've just been around for a minute. I've seen a lot of. You guys are teaching me stuff every day. I'm learning something from you guys all the time. So it's like, this is like a really big learning process. So, all right, we'll talk about the industry a little bit. I know you just got back from E3.
I did.
How was it?
Which part? This is my third.
Yeah.
And it feels like my first, right?
Yeah.
For all the things that we talked about, recently, as far as relationships and
right.
meeting Daniela for the first time there, right?
Yeah.
She had no idea I was showing up. I kept it from her for about a month. Right?
Yeah, I didn't even know you were going until you hit me up. It was like, yeah, I'm about to go. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I was like, that I didn't know you were going.
Yeah, because my whole thing was well, we'll definitely talk about E3, but my whole thing was building trust, right? How do I build trust quickly, right? So that's always been my thing, because I want us to start running as soon as we connect the ship, and let's do what we gotta do. So I kept things from her with a purpose and the intent of showing her that I can keep secrets, right? For the greater good, obviously, right? So as we were getting ready to go to the E3 stuff, it was like, all right, so we're almost getting ready to leave. When do I break the news? Because I was still waiting for my flights. I see you're on mute right now, so you're probably doing something.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So then I waited till about I was trying to make sure that the show that we were recording that night was when I was going to get all my information, flight information, all that stuff. And that's when it ended up happening. And that's when she found out. But I knew for a long time, at least a month, that I was going to be out there.
Yeah. That's good. So you finally got to go. You got to meet her for the first time. So how was this one compared to, let's say, last year?
Right. So then so when we did the thing, right? We did a thing on the show. Then right after we recorded the show, I went to the airport. That's how crazy it was. Like literally, wow. I had so I had nothing to edit. I didn't have time to do any of that stuff for that particular episode. So we went, right. Okay, so the consumer side of things, as far as the lines and stuff, was going to be a concern for most of the individuals who create content, right? So that was the major thing.
Yeah.
So day one was crazy. Day one was crazy. Okay. Wow. And in terms of lines and people not smelling the way they're supposed to smell, whether they wore deodorant or not. I mean, that's typical for most cons, but now it's becoming a con that's a little bit more open than the other ones. So there's certain things that we're actually going to see, and those things that's very similar to other cons that are normally open on a regular basis. So day one for me was intense. Because you do a little refresher of how to move around, right? Now you're gauging the lines. Like at one point, we were making fun of the fact that most of the people on the show floor day one, they were walking like penguins because, dude, there was no way for you to go. Like we even recorded a video about that, and there was literally, that's how slow we were walking inside. I think it was let me see, West is and inside the South Hall.
Oh God,
it was bad, bro. Like
the South. Oh man, the South Hall is just.
It was bad.
I can imagine the sea of people. It was just. Bro, I can imagine.
Exactly. Dude, it was a sea of people. So day one was a little crazy. So for me, whenever I go to cons that are more than 2-3 days, scouting is the day one for me. Then I write my notes between day one, day two, and then implementation is usually day 3, day 4. That's how I usually do it. Right. Yeah. So that way I know exactly what's going to happen. By the time you're tired, I'm just getting started. That's my thing. Right?
Gotcha.
So, and another thing too, this year I felt way stronger physically, more focused. By day 2 last year, I think I was tired. Even though I was tired this year, it was a different kind of tired. You know, I don't know
Right.
what it was. I just felt different. Maybe I felt healthier or whatever it is, but I just felt great. So by the time Thursday shows up, or you know, getting ready to do the Friday thing, I'm like, yo, I can go for another week.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I felt. You know, that's how I felt in my body. I felt great. So then, so it was all right, cool. So now we're preparing to leave. So, but in terms of the interactions for me this year, so I guess let's dig into that a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much as seeing what game is coming out and what I can play before I come back. You know, if there's anything I wanted to play to talk about was Destiny and Call of Duty, because those are my things, right?
Right.
And also Uncharted Lost Legacy, which was really dope. You know, we saw Spider-Man, we watched Suppressors, you know, blah, 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 right? The normal thing, right? So the not so normal thing for me, okay, so some people may be upset that I said blah, 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 but you know, I'm gonna go back to that, right? Because I like context. I like full context. So the other thing about that for me is this year was the most time I spent talking to individuals on the show floor for business and partnerships than any other year. Right?
Really?
Any other year, man. So this year was more. I'm meeting people. I'm tweeting people out, and I'm like, okay, I know where you are. I'm gonna come say what's up. I go say what's up. We sit down and we're talking about business and partnerships and collaborations on the show floor. People around us is sitting here waiting online and doing what they do to wait online. They're looking at me passing them because I have a media badge, right? They don't like that. Right, they're getting upset and heated because they've been online 3, 4, 5 hours and stuff. Okay. So the blah 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 portion, right? That's what I was gonna get back to. Right, is all the walking, right?
Of course.
All that, right? You need to find a place to use the restroom, and you don't know where to go. Right, right. There's that, right?
Yeah.
And the lines, right? And depending on the company or the PR or whoever it is, some people aren't necessarily happy to see you as media.
Really?
Yeah, for whatever reason. I'm not saying that it's any company and specific, but you know, there's certain,
every once in a while you'll run into somebody
certain
like, oh,
reps,
okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And which is why I was okay. So let me just finish this as I'm thinking about it. You know, the rep at the desk representing that company is going to be my outlook of that company once I leave. Right. That's who that rep is going to be. So if that rep is super nice, then I'm going to be like, this company's all right. I'm going to come back to this company. I'm going to listen. That's going to be my first appointment, blah, blah, blah. We go into all that. So that's going to be the company I'm going to visit. You know what? I like you. Let's talk. Right. Yeah. So now if the rep is bad, then that's my outlook for the company. Right.
Exactly. Okay. Interesting.
And that's what it is. So which is why I was so very, very, that's why I took so much time with trying to decide if I should ask Daniela to join the team or not, because if that rep is bad, then that's everything, right? And if that rep is good, the other side of it is everything. So you have all those different parts that play out. Everybody has a camera, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you know, that a little bit. So everybody, whether they're a consumer or they have a media badge, everybody has a camera.
Right.
Everybody, right? So now you have to figure out, are you in competition with all the people that have cameras? Because whether you have a camera or not, if your content is bad, then nobody cares.
Exactly.
Right. So now you have to figure out exactly what is the most important thing for you right now. Okay. So and I guess that's one of the things I definitely wanted to have a conversation with you. So for me right now, it's not so much the audio content thing, because I think that I can do that. I think I've come to a place where I can't necessarily do it in my sleep, because you still need to see what you're doing. But I think audio content, I think I can do it at this point. Right. So video content, not so much, but I'm working on it. Right.
Yeah.
But that's not the most important thing for me right now. It's not the audio content and it's not the video content. So what is the most important thing for me right now? Right. It's relationships. That's the most important thing for me right now. So whether I'm crafting that with a new dev or a new publisher or a new PR company, or even in Daniela right now as a co-host, or even other team members I may bring on, may not bring on. I may not bring on anybody else after this. I don't know. You know, and I told her, and I said, worst case scenario, you leave. I know that I did the best that I could to make this experience as awesome as I could for you, even if she leaves tonight, you know. So these things are already set in place. I'm not crazy, you know, in terms of my navigation of the things that are happening right now. I'm fully aware of what's happening, right? So like we were saying before, 355 just came out. You know, I just put out the video for PS 2018. with the global PR and brand manager, right? Adam Botti just put that out today. So we did the YouTube thing, we did the video thing, right? I'm preparing my show notes for this upcoming Sunday for the next episode. We're supposed to be recording this Sunday. We may have a guest, we may not. I don't know, but that's, you know, so there's stuff that's already set in place. That there's a rhythm to the things that we're doing, you know, as a brand now, right? So now one of the things that I did notice too is as I'm going through the process of building with Daniela, her motion is different, right? Pre E3, I mean, she was on board, right? But she's even more on board now based on how you understand what I'm saying? Not that she was not
I know exactly what you're saying.
I gotta be clear. Not that she was lax or she wasn't, you know, paying attention to what was going on, or she wasn't, you know, fully engaged or anything like that. It's just that now she sees me real time interacting with these individuals on the show floor, and then she's like, yo, this dude right here, you know, because I change my tone depending on who I'm talking to, right? Like I have to change, you know, my position, right? Whether I do a high posture, low posture, whether I'm meek or aggressive, whether I assert more, I'm stern, right? So I'm doing all that stuff real time, and she's like, yo, this dude, this is interesting to see that real time. So she got a chance to see that. So she was like, yo, so now how do I know if he's really serious? She got to see that. Right. And so now you're seeing, so I'm seeing a different side of her, or side is wrong, a different layer of who she is in terms of, you know, the things that she's doing right now. And that's where we are, man. So relationships at the end of the day, you know, as I've been thinking about it the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, man, is the most important thing ever. I don't care what you're doing.
People don't understand that. Some people just really don't understand that. I mean, some people will be like, well, I don't want to listen to what they have to say or blah, blah, blah. If they, you know, some people don't even want to mess with the embargoes. I'm like, dude, follow the embargoes. If you have not been, even if you've been in this industry for a while, follow the embargoes because they pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So let's talk about the embargoes for a second, right? So Astro came here, I guess maybe a week or two before E3 for an event, right? So they were doing an event for a product that was coming out, and obviously we know what the product is now, right? It came out and all that stuff. So, you know, obviously, you know, I'm grateful that I got an opportunity to go there and then talk to them and stuff like that. So my whole thing with Astro was like, yo, okay, Daniela loves Astro. Right. So that's what I'm thinking. So I contacted the team and I was like, hey, you know, I wanted to do something nice for my new co-host just to kind of welcome her on the team. You know, is it possible that we can get your bags out to her?
Yeah.
Right. Can you do that? So they're like, you know, it's kind of close to the time and all that stuff, and we'll see what we can do and all that stuff. So I was like, that would be great if you could, you know, do that. That'd be amazing. You know, I know you guys have been supporting me. So now I dig into the history of our relationship. You guys have been always there. You guys have always supported the show. You guys have always showed us love. You guys. So now I dig into the history. If you ain't got no history to dig into, forget it. It's not happening.
Exactly.
It's not happening. Okay. So then, you know, I did all that stuff. Whether they accommodate or not, I would have still been good with them, you know, depending on what's going on, because I don't know what's going on their side behind their scenes, right?
Exactly.
So if they decide to accommodate me or not, that's a whole nother thing. So, you know, the progression of the story, they accommodated, bro. They sent her and myself, you know, the bags for Astro. Right. And
which are pretty sweet bags, by the way.
Yes, pretty dope bags. And she received hers just before she left for E3.
Awesome.
Right. So she got a chance to just swap out the bags and stuff. So stuff like that. So that's my thing right now. Right. So anything that I could do that's going to benefit us as a whole. Those are the things that I'm focusing on.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, I think it's I know we were talking about this a while back. I think before you even started going to E3, and people were asking me like, well, what, you know, what's E3 like, and what do you do on when you go to E3? And I'm like, well, I haven't been in a while, but you know, I was there the inaugural E3 '95. I was there I was there all day. I was there for like a week and a half almost, because I was there early. I was just trying to get there early, so I can figure out where everything was going. And I tell people, I said, my whole game plan has been since day one is, you know, try to go to the conferences, get to the conferences and all that stuff. But day one on the shore floor, it's my networking.
Right.
It's introducing
You gotta
myself.
do.
It's,
You
hey,
gotta
this
do
is
that.
me. This is what we do. This is what we do. This is blah 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 blah. And you go into that, and then the second day is still a little bit of networking that you didn't get finished the day before, but so day two is mostly okay. Now I got to get my appointments.
Right. You
Like
gotta do.
you know,
Yep.
I got to get my talking in. I got to get my, I got to meet these people, get my notes together, get everything together, and then day three, maybe get a chance to play something.
Right.
And I tell people, I said, you get to go to E3. I bet you've played all the games. I said, dude, I barely get to play anything. If I get to play something, it's something I brought with me, like my Vita or my 3DS or something. I might get to play on the floor. We get the little demos behind the scenes, and we get a little, maybe five or so minutes with the game or something, and they go through the different levels or whatever, and we get that. But as far as getting out there on your own and just doing it, usually at the end of the day, on the third day, is when I actually get the chance to. I'll keep mental notes of the games I'm interested in, and I'll go back. Last day, maybe the last 2 hours of the show, and I'm looking around like, hey, mind if I check this out? Oh yeah, come on, come back here and check this out, blah blah blah.
Right.
But I tell people, I said, E3 is really not about playing games.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Really
I mean,
not.
it's a typical trade show. It's not about playing the games. It's about getting your name out there, getting the relationship started, looking at stuff that you're going to talk about, when you get back or as you're writing or whatever. And I said, it's really about building the relationships and really getting to know the people and getting to know the developers so that they'll know you they'll see you and go,
Right.
hey, this is so-and-so from this place that I remember meeting him. I remember him. And then
Right.
and the more you go, I mean, the more you go, you get to play a little bit more, but I mean, you get to navigate it more. I said, it's work. And I said, it's a lot of walking. You're going to be tired when you get back.
Right.
You're going to be tired.
Two things
And
you
I said,
mentioned, I definitely want to touch on. First thing is, what's E3 like? I can't answer that for you, right?
Right.
So if whoever's asking that, male or female,
yeah,
or whatever's going on, right? So I can't answer that for you. I can say, if you have the opportunity to go, you better do everything you can to get out there at least one time.
Right.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Right. We talk about E3 from our lenses, right? That's what we're doing based on the experiences that we've had with the show, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, whether you're a vet, 5 years, 6, 7 years, or whatever it is, 10 plus, whatever. Right. So you're talking about the experience from your lens, whether you're working for a company that sends you out there, whether you're freelancing, doing your own thing, whether you jumped on board with somebody because they gave you the opportunity to go. However you go, you should go at least one time. At least
it's a spectacle.
At least one time, okay? Because I don't know what happens. Fast track is the wrong word because I don't have the right word right now. Something happens really, really quickly between the relationships that you have or you make there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's a good one, to catapult you to the next level of intensity that you're going to put to the work when you get back home, right?
Right.
Something happens. Something happens within you. To do,
you get a sense of accomplishment,
right?
Like
to go back and do, you got to put that grind in.
Because you're sitting there looking at it like, okay, now I got this guy. You go through all your business stuff when you get back, and you look through everything. You're like, okay, this is this company. Okay, these are the these are the accessory companies. Okay, these are these guys. These are the software guys. These are the companies. And you go through, and these are the apparel people, or and you go through all these people, and then you go, okay, but then when you get the follow-ups, emails, that's when you kind of go, okay, I've kind of arrived, because they came to me first.
Right.
And they're like, hey, how you doing? How's this trip? How'd the show go for you? What can we do for you? And you're like, now you get the whole point of going in the first place.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna tell your people something that, it took me a while to learn, but it definitely helped me. Okay, so there's different terms that the companies use, especially if you're learning how to do PR for the first time, and sending emails for the first time. There's different things the companies say, and they mean something completely different, right? Yep. Okay, so when a company says, and this is just, I'll just flow with it depending on what comes to mind. When a company said they're at capacity, that usually means no, you can't get in.
Right.
They may not necessarily be at capacity. But if you're giving the company a hard time, there's a way for them to say no, and it's usually at capacity. Now, and I'll leave it there. But there's so much more that happens, with that. And then the other thing too is this industry is not as big as you believe it to be. right? Because a PR person that works for this company may not work for that company anymore, and then they go to another company, maybe bigger, or another company that you really wanted to work with, and because you said something slick to them when they were with this company, now they're that company, you may not even get any contact from that company ever because of your mouth, because you were slick, right?
Yep.
You have to watch out for that. So the public relations arm for the company, the fact that most companies outsource it is the, if not the one of the most important things for that company's image and how they interact, you know, with us, whether that's a consumer or a freelancer or a content creator or whatever. So now the big thing now, as you see the last year, 2 years, is influencer marketing, right? That's coming up big time. Right, versus individuals who are, you know, doing their freelance stuff or contributing for other big websites and that kind of thing, which has been around for a long time. So the influencer marketing thing is, we just want your numbers because you have them, but just because you have the numbers as an influencer, that doesn't mean you're ready to talk on camera, right? That doesn't mean you can handle that pressure, because that's something in and of itself, especially if you have something to hide.
Right.
So if you don't take the time, which is why YouTube is so great for anybody who can use it, is take the time to turn on the camera and start really talking to people on the camera. Believe that you're talking to somebody on the other side. Because as you get further comfortable with that, it's going to be easy for you to do real-time, off-the-cuff camera stuff at any point. And that may introduce great opportunities for you, and you just have to roll with it. But this is the world that we live in, whether you like it or not. It's going to be video stuff. The podcasting is great to create depth, right? The video stuff can give you instant popularity depending on what that video is and where it was posted and who was on it with you, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So this is the world. You are the new media company. Yes, you, the person who's never turned on a camera before and who's shy to jump on a podcast. You are the new media company waiting to happen. Okay, and that's my pitch on that. I'm done with that.
No, and you're absolutely, and that's the thing. It's the thing is with the new, you know, the way things are now. I'm still new to the streaming. I'm still, you know, new to the YouTube stuff. I'm just getting into that right now, and you know, but I tell people it's like, you know, you all have a voice,
right?
So you know, it doesn't matter. You know, just get out there, get out there. Whether it's a podcast or a video, you know, or YouTube or whatever you want to do. I mean, if you feel like you're passionate about it, you have a voice and you want to say something about something, just jump out there, because you never know who's listening.
Right.
You never know who, you know, you put that link on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and you never know who's going to click on that and listen.
Right.
And you never know, somebody just might be, oh, here's a new show by who, you know, you don't even know who the person is. You're like, oh, yeah, I'll check it out. And it could be the best thing you've ever heard. Or you could be part of a media company that's established. And you go, this person's got personality. And that's the way this person thinks. And there you go.
Exactly. And that's the thing for me. Like now it's like, I really want to like do more podcasts. Like I want to, you know, hey, if you have here's the thing that I'm asking right now. If you have a seat open on your podcast and you want to talk, please, you know, I want to come on and talk, because I want to get this constitution out to the world. It's not new. It's really going back to basics. So I definitely want to talk about that kind of stuff. But the thing is, you have to put yourself in a position to win, right?
Exactly.
And it sounds very cliche. It does sound very cliche. But if you have a nice camera, if you have anything new the last 2-3 years that has a camera on it, and you're not using it for anything, you're doing yourself a disservice. Really, you are. Now, as far as, you know, podcasting and stuff like that, yeah, to some degree, because we've done it for a while, we kind of master the mechanics of it, right? But that doesn't mean just because you can talk about beer for a whole hour that the podcast is going to be good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, exactly. You know, so then you have to really be mindful of the content you're putting out to the world, because you don't want that to turn around and bite you in the behind, you know, 2 years later, because you're trying to get a job with a particular company. So all these things are strategic thinking for the future. You know what I'm saying? We're not playing around. Like, for those who don't necessarily understand, you know, why we do what we do. Yeah, there's a passion that was ignited many years ago, but now we have to strategically think, how are we going to talk to $1 billion company or whatever that company is to show us love with their product that's like $300, $500, $1,000 that they're sending for free for us to talk about it. This is a real thing.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like some people just haven't. I don't know if it's they have the passion,
right?
I
know where you're
wanna say it's
going, and I'm going to tell you what happened.
I don't want to say it's the ability.
I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened. No, I want you to finish your thought. I'm going to tell you what happened.
Because I can't. I'm trying to think. I was like, okay, because you know what you know what you want to do. You're trying to navigate how to do it, but then you're dealing with a company that doesn't really. Okay, your numbers aren't there yet, so you're kind of like you get frustrated, but you just keep going. But you keep that relationship. You keep that relationship. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Just let it go. I mean, there's a lot of times we don't get crap, and it's fine. It's cool. Sometimes I'll request something. I'll hear about something. I'll go. I want to put that in now, so I know next month when it comes out, they might want to give it to us or whatever. And I was like, if we don't get it, that's cool. But you still keep that relationship. Don't get mad. Don't get crazy. I'm entitled. I need to get just be cool. It'll happen. You just have to be patient. But keep your content going.
So here's so it took me 2 years to actually get on Astro's radar. And this is 2 years of asking and emailing it and trying to shout them out and requesting product and stuff like that. They were busy. I wasn't in a position, with my content to, warrant their attention.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to be mad about that.
It happens.
But it happens. But now, we're in a different place, and even real time. And this is why, podcasting is great, but it's dangerous, right? A video is great and is dangerous. And here's what I mean. If you're upset that a company is not showing you love and you go blast that company on your podcast, the podcast is dangerous now.
Yep.
Okay. Let a PR person, early publicist, assistant publicist of that company, an associate, PR of that particular firm or whatever that company, listen to that podcast, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done for a while.
And it doesn't take much.
Right.
It doesn't take much. Nothing.
No.
We've been in a situation like that where it's like
I'm gonna change the whole thing. And this is not usually, my talk and my particular direction. It's not even part of my show, period. But you already starting off at a particular angle if you black. Yeah. I'm just keep it real.
Dude, trust me. I've been telling dude.
I'm just keeping it real. Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna be clear. I'm not saying that companies actually focus on that.
No.
I'm just saying that you better be careful how you code switching with these companies.
Yep. You have. I'm telling you. I keep telling people, man, you have to come correct with these people.
This is not.
Even if you're black, you can't even come timid.
This is not a game, man.
It's not a game.
It's not a game.
I'll tell you a story, and I'm not gonna name the person because they're a pretty big person. We're cool now. We've been cool for like a few years, but I was this was probably 98 ish, 98, 99, going to E3. I had an appointment with a pretty big company. I'm not gonna name the company. Had an interview with one of the presidents of this company. So I'm in line. I'm getting my appointment there. This guy, he was a friend of mine now. I have a lot of friends, so nobody will be able to figure this out unless they know the story. This guy basically walked right past me while I was talking to the guy. He walked right past me and was like, "Okay, now it's time. Oh, are you guys ready for the interview?" And I was like, all right, I'm gonna step back because I know this guy's he's got a little clout. I stepped back a little bit. And he was like, no, hold on, whoa, what are you doing? Well, we're here to interview. Did you not see? I had a guy right here in front of you. I know this guy. Did you not see this? And the guy kind of looked at me and looked at the guy like, do you not know who I am? And the president went, you're next, and he said his name. You're next.
Right.
Not right now. And I kept my cool.
Right.
When did my interview? Went and talked to him, played the game, whatever. I came back out and the guy was there, and I said, "Look, man, that was messed up. I'm not mad at you. You got this clout. I'm not mad at you. It's good.
Right.
Yeah, you don't even know me. You probably don't even know me from Jack, from Adam. But it's about respect in this business. I don't know how long you've been here. I don't know how long you've been doing this, but dude, you gotta respect this, man. I mean, I'm not coming at you crazy. You got to be cool.
Right.
And
So
it was
so
like a
you
lot
we
of,
have to be,
and it was like, it was kind of like he kind of got a little heated. And I was like, look, man,
of course.
hey, I'm not in here. I'm not here to start any stuff. I'm just trying to tell you, man, respect goes a long way. And me and him would see each other, and he would not speak. I'd still be speak, but I hit him up on Twitter one day, and I was like, look, man, we need to chop this up. I'm not even mad at you, dude. I wasn't even mad when I left. I was good. I was just like, that's kind of messed up the way you acted. But then he was like, you know, man, after that, I got a couple of people that didn't even want to talk to me
Right.
because they found out about that. And they did, and the companies knew me just because I've talked to them before. And we've worked together on stuff, and it was just like he saw it because it was really instant. It was like the next couple of days for him. He told me, he's like, dude, I didn't get an interview the rest of that day. I didn't get any, all my appointments canceled after that day.
Yeah, it's an
And I had to
interesting
sit
thing,
around,
man.
and it's interesting. Like right now, he's a big shot now.
And it's all right.
Cool.
That's all right. That's all right. So
And it's cool, and we're cool now. And I'm like, dude, I still shout you out when I can. If I shout you out, dude, it's all
right.
love.
You have to be careful. And I guess, another thing too, as you talked about or asked about the show's, history, and what would bring you to a point where you had to put your voice out there. Another thing for me too, even in the beginning, is I wanted to put a product out there that people can respect, and it didn't matter, who was doing the product. Right. So in terms of the way we organize, our notes and the way we deliver the content, and even the way we interact with the guest and who it is, I do enough homework for the guest where they're surprised that they're having a good time.
Yeah.
Right. That and after a while, you kind of hear it in their voice, the way they change up and the way they get comfortable, because I've done enough homework to know what you like, what food you eat, what you did yesterday, that kind of a thing, to a point where I can actually bring it into the conversation. You're like, yo, this guy's he really did his homework, and you have there's no other option for you but to open up and then give me, the real deal of that conversation. But that takes time. Like even the recent conversation I had with Marquez Brownlee, the big tech YouTuber, right?
Right.
So I was at an event, I saw him, and I was like, hey, hey, my name is Andrew, what's your name? He said Marquez Brownlee. Like, who doesn't know Marquez Brownlee? He's like 4 million, you know what I'm saying? Who doesn't know? But I can't assume like I know the guy because I watch his videos. I'm gonna introduce myself like we're meeting for the first time, and we are, because I don't know him. So then I say, hey, do you mind jumping in this video real quick, blah, 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 and then let's have this conversation. And then we had a 1 minute conversation that I recorded for the YouTube video. 1 minute, right? Yeah. But in the 1 minute, and probably around 35 to 40 seconds, the last question I asked him spoke to who he is as a person, because I did my homework, right? And here's what I mean. I asked him, what is the top 3 phones for him right now? If you could see the face that he made right after I asked him the question, it was everything, because I spoke to who he was and what his passion was. It's phones, technology, and stuff like that. So you have to pay attention to those, moments, or at least prepare for them if you're doing something off the cuff. But here's the other thing too. Had I not, been prepared to do video, what video would I have with Marquez Brownlee, one of the top tech YouTubers in the world right now? Right. I couldn't say that. Right. So that kind of a thing, you have to prepare yourself to win. But in terms of the conversation that you're having, even with the PR people and the people in the industry, you have to be mindful of who these people are. They're the gatekeepers to the things that you love.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. And you have to be mindful of that.
I mean, it's like because I was talking to some of my team. We got like a ton of interviews coming up, and and I said, I'll give you guys a little hint, and it's a little secret of mine. We've interviewed some people that have been, in magazines and on TV and on stuff like that. We've done that. My way of interviewing is, I already know that we already know what you did. We already know what you've done. I want to know the other side of it. I want to know you as a person. I don't want to know you as the, the head of this media company, or the editor in chief of this magazine, or this model from this, video, or this a voice actor from this game. We already know you do that. But I want to know the inside. I want to know more than that, because that's where the key of the really good interviews go. I mean, I'm an old school guy. I'm a Barbara Walters person. I know I've been watching all this stuff since I was a kid, and it's like, I'm interviewing you like I'm just hanging out with you. I'm talking to you. Hey, when you did this, how was that? What was that experience like? When you went to this event and they gave you this award, what did you feel right then? What did you prepare for that role that you did? I already know you did the role. I already know you got the award. I know you're already in the game, and the game made millions, and you're a household name. I got that.
Right.
What do you like personally? And then, a lot of people don't do that anymore. A lot of people are just like, well, hey, how was it working with so and so on the game you made, and blah blah blah. Yeah, like, yeah, okay, well, okay, I've got it. You've already. That's the thing. When you have some kind of clout and you get to do interviews like that, you're already asking the same thing. You've been asked the same thing for about a week. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, so the question I asked now, I don't know where I picked it up from, but it must have been somebody's, because it's too good to be mine, right? So the question I asked now is there anything that you wanted me to ask you, or you wish I asked you before we end this interview? That usually changed the whole direction of the last couple of minutes, right? There
you go.
So you can make that yours. You could keep that one.
My thing is, it's like, is there anything you've ever wanted to talk about that you never got a chance to?
Right. That changes everything.
That changes it. I mean, because I come in, it's like, okay, I'm not going to ask, they're going to go, well, we already know pretty much what the questions you're going to ask. Even I'll give them the questions beforehand, and they're going to go, wait a minute, I need some more time, because I've got to think about this.
Right.
I'm like, because you were expecting me to go check list 1 through 5 that you've been asked 20 million times. Whole different list.
Right.
Everybody knows about all the stuff you've done, but I go into the different. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. You got to come with something different, and you come with something different, man. And it's, told you, man, I've always big up to you, man. I look up to you, man. You are
say that, man.
Don't
say that.
Dude, I do, man. I look up to. Look, man, I'm a fan of all of you guys. Everybody that I've talked about, everybody showed up, ever been on. I'm a fan. Yes, I've been here, whatever, but I'm a fan, because I know the struggle. I know how hard it was. I mean, when I started this, there was no social media. I had to, and I was, when I would go to E3, and I would be shocked that people knew who I was, because I was an underground writer. I submitted stuff to people. I was an underground guy.
Yeah, I was never
on.
Man.
I was the underground guy. The guys at the magazines knew me because I used to hang out with them and play games with them and stuff. But it's shocking, because you go somewhere and they're like, dude, you've never even seen me, but why do you know who I am? How do you know? Right. It's like, dude, I've read your stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, okay. My buddy works for so and so, and he talked about you the other day. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he taught you how I beat him down in Bomberman, but that's a different story. But
it's a weird feeling, man. It's a weird feeling.
It's really weird. It is really weird to get. No, and the thing about it is that when somebody that's you've looked up to comes to you and go, I appreciate what you do.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the other thing, right? It's a weird feeling, but I think I like it. Okay. And let me explain it.
You should.
Let me explain, because my thing is, the fact that you took the time to do that is one thing, because you're believing the fact that you even said anything, you're believing the person that you're seeing online is the same person you're going to interact with real time.
Yep.
So that in and of itself is honorable, and I don't even know what to do with that myself. The next thing is, I feel like I'm the underdog still, right? Yeah. So I'm operating from a place where I'm trying to convince people that the content that we put out is actually good. I'm laughing just thinking about it.
Right.
That's where I'm at. So when somebody could say, oh yeah, even like one guy said to me during E3, he was like, yeah, your content is everywhere. I'm like, my content is everywhere, whatever. I don't even believe that. I don't think that's true right now.
It is.
I really don't.
Yeah,
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So I'm still operating from a place where there's still a lot more work to do for exposure, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm really capitalizing on on the resources that we have that are for free. So I'm not necessarily completely capitalizing on YouTube yet, like I want to,
Right.
or Facebook Live, or Periscope, or even the
Yeah.
podcast stuff. So to some, it may look like it's everywhere. To me, I feel like I'm just starting out where
Oh
it's
man.
really going to be aggressive, to be honest
I've,
with you. So
I'm in the same boat. I mean, I'm just like I said, we're just now getting on the YouTube stuff. We're actually doing. I just had a meeting with some friends of mine, local friends of mine. We're going to start doing some shows on different platforms that people aren't doing shows on. We're like, why have nobody? I'm looking at it like, why has nobody done this yet? Oh, we're going to take that. We're going to get in that. We're going to get into that market right there. And it's just it's harder, but it's
no,
easier.
it's not hard.
It's
I'm
harder.
going to disagree.
Yeah.
It's not harder. It's
Yeah.
just is implementation, right? That's
There's
at
more
the end of the day,
steps.
right.
Yeah, there's more
That's
steps.
right. At the end of the day, because you can't craft the same content for outlet or platform A and then copy and paste it on platform B and expect it to do well. So
Right.
implementation. So
Yeah.
so I completely understand what you're saying, but bro, it's not hard. Yo, we're doing YouTube live right now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
With just a click of a few buttons. Can you imagine how much this production would be based on even the equipment that we're doing it? Less than $100+, right?
Right.
We're not
Right.
we got USB stuff, laptops we already had, bro. Like
Yeah.
we're doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not really of the
Yeah.
fact that that's
I
what I'm
got you.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But
hear
I
you.
agree. I agree because what happened is like, yeah, Facebook Live is available for me right now. I can do Facebook Live from my desktop, but what am I going to talk about once I turn it on?
Exactly.
So now you have that. So now, okay, so what kind of content I'm going to craft on the Facebook Live, and then once I'm done with that, do I still need to do a YouTube or Periscope after that?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so
it's
then,
more. I see. Yeah, I see. Well, yeah. Harder was the wrong term. Harder was the wrong term.
no, I'm just saying, but I
No,
agree.
got you.
I
got
understand
you.
what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
It's a tough position to be in because we have so many resources that are free that's allowing us to use their platform and even archive our content on that platform for free.
Yeah.
And yet build a great audience depending on which platform we decide to stay on.
Yes, I mean, like the way that things are now, and me and some friends of mine have talked about this. We're all older guys. We've been in the business for a while, and we go and we were just talking. Me and some friends of mine were just talking about this the other day. It was like, man, we were looking at news reports about how much so and so made on Twitch this year, or somebody made on this on YouTube, and we were just like, dude, we've been doing this for like 20 years, and we didn't get a dime for this stuff, and we're like, okay, we got to start capitalizing on this. So, like I said, it's if I'd have had the tools, these tools back then, oh man, I'd be in a whole different position.
Yeah, but
I'd be in a whole different position right now.
That's the world that we live in. So now my thing is now, yeah, we've done the podcast stuff. Yeah, we're doing the YouTube stuff and the video stuff now. Now the only thing I really want to know, man, I want to talk to the industry guys that's been in it for 20+ years and be like, yo, tell me something that I need for the next 5 to 8 years. That's what I need. Drop that wisdom on me. And let me know, you know, am I going the right way? That's where I'm at with this stuff now, because there's some guys, you know, the Michael Pachters and the Kevin Dents and those guys, you know, the Gears Vikings, you know, of the world. Like, you've been in it for the Ed Boons of the world. Tell me something that's going to take me to the next 5-10 years. Let me grow gracefully in the things that we're doing right now. Is there something you see right off the bat, because you've been in it for so long, that I'm doing completely wrong? Please tell me. That's where I'm at. I want to talk to those guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's a place, we're in a great place right now, man.
I mean, I'm gonna put it this way. You have given me, I'm like, okay, just by knowing you as a person, you have given me a way to look at things that it's like I got about 6 or 7 friends that are doing this. You know, I don't even want to get into names, but you guys have made me go, all right, I know I've been doing this, but I'm like, okay, I think I'm doing this. I'm coming off the wrong way, and I might need to, you know, slow my roll a little bit, or even step my game up,
I should switch the interview. What do you mean by that?
Okay. Because I started out as I started out as a kid, like a literal kid.
Okay.
And, you know, I didn't even get to I went to my first CES. I was 17.
Okay.
And I don't know how I got into CES at 17. I have no idea, but I applied and I got in. I was like, okay, went to CES. I was a new guy walking into this place. I've never been to Las Vegas before. I didn't know what I was doing. I walked into this place. I was like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. So I kind of closed myself down a little bit, and I had to get my head together. Okay, now I gotta put on the professional hat. I gotta get out there and do this. I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing, so I was just talking to guys about just whatever. I didn't care. And once you got comfortable talking to people, you get to see the little idiosyncrasies that they present when they talk to you. You go, okay, this guy, when he's really passionate about something, he kind of raises his shoulders a little bit. Kind of his shoulders would he perk up a little bit. So it's kind of like he's trying to project something. I was like, okay, I get that. And then, but you as you go on and you meet these different people, you get to realize that all this time you've been reading about these people in magazines or videos or TV stuff, you see about CES and the game magazines back in the day, whatever, and you'll go, oh, these guys are just regular dudes. These guys are just regular people. They're like me. They're just geeks like me. We like the same stuff. We're just geeks. So I started going to people when I interact. Like, it was crazy. We were at E3 one year and we were sitting there talking. I brought some of my friends with me to go with me to E3 because they wanted to go. So I got them in, and we were there. We was there at Atlanta, and we're just waiting for the line to start, waiting for the convention floor to open. In walks Howard Lincoln from Nintendo. He's just walking through. It's crowded, and he's moving his way through the crowd, and he stops right around where we are. And I was like, "Oh my God, it's Howard Lincoln! Oh, let's make room so you can go through." He goes, "No, I'm here to sit with. I'm here to hang with you guys." Hang with the regular people, the regular people. I'm not worried about getting in there right now. They're fine without me. And I was kind of like looked at my buddy. I was like, man, that's Howard Lincoln. And he's like, yeah, I'm Howard Lincoln. I was like, you mind if I talk to you for a second? Oh, sure, no problem. Pulled out my notepad. I talked to him like he was a regular dude. I knew who he was, but I came at him like, you're a regular guy. Hey, what do you think about blah 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 blah? And we talked for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And I got to interview Howard Lincoln, and I feel like I'm a nobody right now, but nobody knew me back then.
All right, so
and I was like,
So let me ask you this question. So where are you right now? Because one of the things that you said is like, the guys, the 4 or 5 guys that you're watching and you appreciate their work. And don't say you're a fan, bro. That's
Dude,
you're not don't say that. No,
we're friends. We're friends. I'm all friends with everybody. I'm friends with all of them. Okay, I'm friends with all of you guys. I'm friends with all of you guys. And it's just like, I follow you, so I keep up with your stuff. So that, I'm not a fan like the obsessed fan, like the typical fanatical thing.
But it's like it's just weird when you say it. It's just
you know what it is, because I respect what you do.
I respect you too, brother.
The fact that you guys are doing it, and I'm telling you, I tell people all the time. I said, dude, I can step away from this business right now and know it's in good hands. There's not gonna be any bull crap, clickbait junk. There's none of this fakeness around. You guys are real. You guys got into the business on your own merits, on your own work. You didn't piggyback nobody. You might have looked up to somebody and might have emulated them a little bit, but you did this on your own.
Yeah, I looked up to a couple of y'all too, man.
You got out there and did it. You got out there and did it on your own, and you have created a platform, dude. I can't shout you guys out enough. Because you've done more in the 5. It's crazy. I've been back in the industry 7, 8 years now, pretty much 8 years now, and I stepped away for 5 years because I just got tired. It was getting crazy. The internet was starting to pop off, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna take a break. I got back in, and I saw, these sites. All these sites were popping up. Like, okay, all right, these are good guys. All right, I'm gonna follow these guys. And I kept following you. I kept following people. I kept checking it out. And I kept new people. Hey, man, you need to check these guys out. And I kept doing it. I was like, dude, these guys are doing what I did way back then, right now. And you guys doing it way better than I did. And I'm like, oh, dude, okay. And that's the thing. I'm still learning from you guys. And that's why I follow you guys so much. I follow I'm following people that people don't even think I even know that existed. You might even know I exist. I don't even know you. You don't think I do, but I do. I follow you.
Man, that's great.
I
So, I
do, man.
mean, like even now, man. I mean, my whole thing as we were talking, this conversation is, I'm going back to basics, man. I mean, doubling down on
Got to.
relationships, and that is my focus right now. I'm reading books about relationships and how to craft those to be better.
Yeah.
I'm going back to basics, man. Letting people talk on the interviews, spend maybe 2% talking, let them talk 98%. I mean, I'm just going back to the basics of things, and hopefully people enjoying it. That's where I'm at, man.
Yeah. I mean, I tell people I mean, like I said, cause see, you have the show radio is just, a little niche to where it's unique, but it's the other shows like you, but it's not you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you hear a podcast and you'll go, okay, they sound like this other podcast or this other podcast. But then there's a few out there that are so different that you're like, I gotta listen to them now. Because you'll always shout them out. You're like, hey man, oh hey, by the way, while you're looking online, hey, check out so and so because they got a new show out and it's great.
Right.
And every time you pop up a new show, every time I see the new notification, I'm clicking on it. I don't care where I'm at. I'm clicking on it. I'm like, I'm going. We got to do this. And like I said, you guys. I mean, it's just you particular. Like, I mean, when you said, man, let's do this. I'm like, all right, let's do this. I've been trying to talk to you for a minute. Let's just do this. And I'm telling you, you were one of those dudes that, I mean, when we met, it was straight up love. Like, it was just hung out. We walked around a little bit, walked around the convention center a little bit, and just hung out.
Absolutely.
And it's just, I'm so, and it's gonna sound crazy, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all you dudes. I'm proud. I feel like I'm not trying to sound like a dad, but I'm old. I'm 45.
Hey man, thanks, Dad. I appreciate it.
I mean, because I've when I back in the day, I used to go to the retro gaming cons, and I got to sit down with Ralph Baer and Nolan Bushnell and all these greats, the Game Doctor, and just Bill. Oh, good. Oh man, rest in peace, Bill. But and I got to sit down to pick those guys' brains for like it could have been like 5-10 minutes, and they went, look, you have a unique voice. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't let anybody stop you, because once you do, you gave them control of your destiny. Your destiny is yours, and yours alone. You pick where you go from here. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it. Don't tell anybody you're not good enough. You get out there and it was kind of like do your thing, but do your thing. Right. Be your own person, and just don't worry about what everybody else says, because you gotta say at the end of the day, they're not you. And it's like, and a lot of, I mean, I've talked to all those people within a couple of years. I got to speak to all of my gaming mentors, like really within a short amount of time. I went to a couple of conventions and I got to meet them, and it's kind of like, it's kind of like that now when I'm meeting you guys, because I see the success you guys have, and you might not think it's great, you might not think it's big, or you might not be where you want to be, but you're getting there, and you're getting there at a really steady pace. And it's just, I tip my hat off to you, man. I really do.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it so much, the support. I really do, man.
Man, you don't even know. But yeah, man, you got to, I think this is pretty much it, man. You've
good, man. Yeah, we good.
You got anything else you want to share, man? I mean,
well, yeah, one more thing. Go
ahead.
I definitely want to say, thank you for all the support that you've shown me throughout the years, man. Because most of it I've done by myself, but with the tweets and the follow Fridays that you do, and just trying to let people know where we're at, and having the platform that you have and the influence that you have allowed me to get some more people to see what we're doing on our little garage, basically. What I mean?
Yeah.
And it's appreciated, man. I know I don't say it enough, and I'm not always tweeting thank yous and hands of thanks and high fives all the time on Twitter, but Believe me, man, your support is really appreciated. You know, I
Yes.
thank you for that.
I just love showing love to everybody because I mean, people could have wrote me off when I came back. Oh, dude, we don't need you. You're good. No, everybody welcomed me back and was like, dude, you know, it's just and it's love, man. And that's the thing. I love showing love. A lot of people, you know, they say, man, your follow Fridays are crazy. I was like, dude, I just love showing love. I just can't. That's the only way I know I can get everybody out. You know, I can shout everybody out. I just want to, you know, just show love, man. Because that's what this business. You have to be humble. You can't think you're better than anybody else. You just can't. You got to be humble because it's the way things now with social media and all this stuff, man. You can be looked at. You can have you can be looked at a few posts. Steer clear of this dude because he's blah blah blah, and you're like, really? And you might even not be that way, but that's the perception. So you gotta show love, man. But I do appreciate you. I will get on the show. Just hit me up, man. I'll be down whenever, man. I'm down for whenever. But I appreciate you, man. But yeah, before I go, I want to announce what I was drinking. I didn't get it at the beginning, but I have my vitamin water Power C Dragon Fruit here. I don't know what you're drinking.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you. I had coffee, man. I ran to the store and came back, and I was like, I need this coffee. I definitely want to be ready for my man's show, and I usually have coffee in the morning, so it's gonna be I'm gonna be wide awake tonight.
Right. Yeah, I'm always awake. But yeah, man, I appreciate you so much, man. Talk. I love this, man. This was good. This was good. But I want you guys check out check out my man Andrew. Check him out at theshowradio.com. Go ahead and plug all your stuff, man.
Yeah.
All your stuff.
So definitely, first and foremost, I thank you so much for the opportunity to come on and chat with you. For individuals who are interested in the show and anything that we're doing right now on the other side, definitely check us out at theshowradio.info. Once again, that's theshowradio.info. You can hit me up on Twitter at Uriah, which is URIYYA, and also check out Miss DJM. She's at Miss DJM on Twitter. And thanks so much, man. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate it. Shouts out to Miss DJM. Girl, you are crazy. We go back a little bit. Just when I started, she was really one of the first people that showed me love. It's like,
she's dope, man.
You're pretty cool, but she is dope. I was like, you guys are great. But you guys know where you can find me. New Otaku Man 5000 on Twitter. Real Gamer Show. Real Otaku Gamer.com. We've got tons of stuff coming up. Shouts out to my man Andrew Uriah, man. You are the truth.
Bless you, man.
The truth. Good brother, man. Good dude. Check him out. Please check him out. You will not regret it. I'll take the thank yous if you want to, but you send it to him. You know, send him some love. But I appreciate it, man. But that's been Geeks on the Internet Having a Beverage, episode 6 with my man Andrew. We'll take you later. Peace.